Hey folks, Amanda here. Just a quick heads up that from time to time, the Survivor's Guide to Thriving podcast does include some adult language. So if you've got kids with you, you may just want to hold on to this episode to listen to a little later. Enjoy. Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Survivor's Guide to Thriving podcast. I'm Amanda Solman, and along with Mark Jewell, your host for this show and the creator of the Surviving to Thriving movement. Each week, we'll dive into the mindsets that keep us in survival mode and learn how to get on the path to a truly thriving life. If you're looking for a wake-up call and want some valuable tools to get there, you have come to the right place. After all, survival is dead. It's your time to thrive today. Now, let's head over to the show.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Survivor's Guide to Thriving podcast. This is your host and founder of the Surviving to Thriving movement, Mark Jewell. And I'm joined today by the lovely Amanda Solman. Amanda, welcome back for co-hosting another magnificent episode.
I am glad to be here, as always.
I think this is going to be a very strong episode today.
Oh, I like where you're going there. I like it.
Yes, exactly. So let's just have a conversation, Amanda, about this, because this is one topic that we talk about where I think you know as much, maybe even more than I do, because we have a new offering here at MJST and some new, very, very cool new things that we're doing. So let's frame this up a little bit. We both just got back from a trip to California, spent some time in good old San Diego, not only just enjoying the sunshine and the beautiful area, but I hope getting smarter, getting stronger at the same time while we were at our strength scope. So frame this up for us, man. I'm going to interview you for once.
Oh, okay.
Tell us a little bit about what's your take on this whole strength scope idea and what it does, and then we'll talk about how we're going to use it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Strength Scope it's an assessment tool. So if there's anybody listening who has been through something like the Myers-Briggs or DISC or StrengthsFinder, something like that, it's also an assessment where you kind of take the quiz yourself and find something out about yourself. But what really makes Strength Scope kind of interesting to me is that instead of being just this thing where it kind of, tells you your horoscope, basically it, tells you something about yourself, and that's pretty cool and fun, especially if you're kind of like a personal development junkie like myself. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like, okay, that's cool. Now what? Where I think this new Strength Scope tool that we learned about is going to be really cool is that it really focuses on not just describing you, but really giving you some insight into the types of things that give you energy. In particular, it's really focused on work, but I think as we get into discussions in some of our training and coaching coming up, that it will definitely apply to a lot of the other areas that we tend to talk about. And this idea of, what gets you excited? What gets you jacked? What are those things that you're just like, oh, if I could spend all day, every day doing those things, I would absolutely love my job. And I think that is like the really cool thing about this tool versus some of the other things that are out there. And I don't know about you, but I definitely in the 5 days we were in San Diego, learned a ton about myself. And so I think it'll be really fun to use with our clients.
You bet. So, let's just think about this from a practical perspective, which is not always my strong point, but looking at it practically, we always are talking about people that are surviving the workday, really like literally just feel like they're getting by. And, let's be honest. It's not the most practical thing to do to go and just change jobs every time that you don't like what's going on in the current role. Now, a lot of people do that. And I honestly think that's unfortunate because I think a lot more can be made out of a role if you're willing to give it another 6 months, another year, another 2 years to see what's going on. I often say that the grass is not greener on the other side, right? The grass is greenest where you water it, nurture it, and give it sunlight. Mm-hmm. That's a Mark Jewell original right there. But, the reality is, what if we could, without switching roles, without having to leave a job or something like that, or completely uproot your life, without doing that, what if you could feel more energized throughout the day? And like I say, there's this, I walk into any of these cubicle farms across the street from where my office is, and there are people that are just surviving the day. It's the literal zombie apocalypse has already happened, and people don't even know